Enersense published its Q4 report today, and here with me to talk about it is company CEO Kari Sundbäck. Welcome, Kari.
Thank you, Aapeli. Hi.
If we start by looking at the past quarter, how would you summarize it?
Well, it was a good quarter to close an eventful year. We continued the stabilization of our business and continued to build the ground for sustainable growth. The main highlight, I would say, is that we increased our cash flow significantly. We recorded 17.3 million of positive cash flow in the last quarter only, 16.3 through the year, which is a 31.5 million improvement from the year before. There were significant events as well. Just before Christmas, we announced the sale of our wind and solar project development portfolio to Fortum. And just this week, 2 days ago, we have announced the closing. So that is now effective, and the business and the people have moved to Fortum, and we have got our prepayment. But returning back to Q4, I would first highlight our connectivity segment, which improved its performance throughout the year, such that by year end they grew significantly and they nearly doubled their EBITDA to 4.2 million euros. Our power segment, which is our largest segment, also grew or developed positively last year. We notably grew in the substation business in Finland in a very profitable manner. In the industry segment, we finalized a number of important projects, such as the first of Finland's first green hydrogen production plant, where we have done piping and installations of steel structures, which now, after those installations and the plant has started operating the beginning of this year, or actually on Valentine's Day, we continue by operating and maintaining the plant both on-site and remotely. So every day we learn more about the soul of such an green hydrogen plant. Continuing in industry, another highlight is that we managed to turn through the year the difficulties and the losses in the Mäntyluoto offshore unit to positive and significant growth also. So our industry, the non-core business in industry grew thanks to that turnaround. So customer is happy about the deliveries, and we are happy with the turnaround there.
Yeah, you already touched upon the major events in the Q4, but if we start by looking at today's announcement that you are going to discontinue charging business, would you like to give us more background of the decision and the schedule of the process?
Yeah, so the strategic evaluation started in the summer alongside the two others, and we have evaluated all possible options, but came to the conclusion today that the best decision we can make today is to close it down, to ramp it down, which is unfortunate as such, but it allows everyone to move on. Regarding the financial impact of that, we estimate that going forward we will still incur between 2 and 3 million of negative impact, which will come in Q1 this year. But we have prepared a soft landing, if you will, by doing at the end of last year 2.1 million of write-downs and cost provisions, and also in the net working capital level a decrease by 3.4 million. So that's the remainder in terms of financial impact in that strategic evaluation, which is now closed. So together with these two, we have one left, which is the Mäntyluoto marine and offshore business.
Exactly, and if we move next to the the renewable energy project development business that you sold to Fortum. You finalized the transaction earlier this week. Would you like to go over the terms of the deal a little bit more in detail?
Yeah, the terms of the deal, as we published them just before Christmas, I would qualify them as good. So this is a deal concerning a whole portfolio of projects, and as such, it's quite a complex and developed mathematics which takes into account the probabilities of individual projects and individual turbines materializing over multiple years. We got this week then the 9.25 million prepayment. The maximum value of the portfolio, as we said in December, is 74 million. We estimate a probability weighted value of 33 million. And at the time of closure this week, we recorded a 19 million win profit out of the deal. And then the further payments, the bulk of the further payments beyond the prepayment we got this week, we estimate will come from the year 27 onwards as the projects mature. So that's the financial side of it. Besides that, I'm really happy about the new home for that business and the people. I think we found the best possible new home for the business and the people in Fortum.
Maybe if we look at the deal from your perspective even a little bit deeper, how satisfied are you with the terms of it? At least the direct cash flow effect is quite modest comparing to the profit you're recording from it. And the future cash flows are also dependent on project to reach final investment decisions by Fortum.
That's right, but that's the name of the game in this business, and I trust that Fortum is of course committed to making those projects materialize.
So you're quite happy with the
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Maybe lastly about the strategic assessment and regarding the offshore business, how has it developed, and do you have some target schedule for it?
It's developing very interestingly in the sense that we continue the strategic evaluation. The competencies we have there in Mäntyluoto in the areas of offshore and other Arctic marine industry are unique. And at the same time, there's a lot happening in those industries nowadays. Take, for example, the buzz around new icebreakers. So given what we have in terms of competencies, capabilities, and what's happening in the industry, we continue that strategic evaluation with patience. We have there an order book which is at a lower level than it was in 24. We are actively working to get more orders in, but we take our time to build the order book, build up the activity level, and we continue that strategic evaluation.
Yes, exactly. Then if we look at your balance sheet situation, of course, it's going to improve through the sale of the renewable energy portfolio, but there is some pressure coming from the write-downs you did in Q4 and Q1. How do you see the situation, and how has the financing agreements, ongoing negotiations developed?
Yeah, so first the situation has, in terms of our own financing situation, has developed positively, notably thanks to that significant cash flow improvement. So 31.5 million improvement over the prior year landing at 16.3 positively has a significant effect. Then the closure of the deal with Fortum with the payment of 9.25 million euros actually improved our equity ratio. Our equity ratio by 10 percentage points from the end of last year's level, 12.77%, which is still short of the covenant level, which is 26 at the end of March. But you referred to those financing negotiations. They have been ongoing for some time in good spirit. They are progressing well, and we're confident we'll be able to land a good result by the end of Q1.
Then if we look at the demand situation, how do you see it currently, and do you see larger differences between the businesses?
Yeah, so the demand situation in terms of order book development is positive at the moment. We managed to increase our order book by 40 million in one quarter, so from the end of Q3 level by 40 million to 393 million, and I think we're continuing on such a trajectory now. The activity level is relatively high, very high actually in many parts of our business in terms of tendering, notably everything around the electricity grid in Finland, many of the e-fuels types of facilities, also wind power and the related storage systems. Then the demand situation is a bit softer in terms of the electricity grid in the Baltics, which has had it's been very high over the past years as the Baltics have prepared for that synchronization with continental Europe grid, which happened on February 9th this year. So it seems as if there's a bit of breath being taken in the Baltics, but recently we've also seen some uptake in demands and tender requests there. So I'm relatively confident with that, and I think we'll continue on the trajectory we were in Q4.
Then if we look at your guidance for this year, you expect your core business EBITDA to improve from 2024 and adjusted EBITDA to be at the same level as in 24. Can you elaborate a little bit about the assumptions behind it?
Yeah, so the improvement we expect, and that's why we have both guidance figures. We expect that improvement in the overall EBITDA of our core business. Then we have the two metrics because there still will be events between the two, notably the cost of the value uplift program that we have initiated at the end of last year. So with that, we expect the adjusted EBITDA of our core business to be at the same level as last year, where we landed at 19.9.
So maybe you already mentioned the value uplift program. Could you tell us more about the program? What are the benefits you are looking from through it? Of course, some efficiency and cost benefits, but what does the program include?
Yeah, first of all, I start by saying that I have a fundamental belief that a lot more value can come out of this machinery called Enersense, and that's why we have started the program. It has three areas. One is our procurement performance. We spend nearly 2/3 of our turnover in procurement, so it's a very significant area when we look at increasing value for customers and efficiency in procurement. Secondly, our commercial performance. We can do much more in terms of operating better as a company towards our customer larger solutions to already the customers we have and to new customers. And thirdly, our fixed costs and the allocation or reallocation of our resources such that we're ready to execute on the new strategy, which will finalize by summer this year.
Thank you, Kari, for the interview and good luck for the year 25.
Thank you, Aapeli. Look forward to seeing you soon again.